Monday, the most terrible of days, but you are on the plus side tuned into The Issues with Ben and Deage on Anyone FM. So, Deage, would you like to explain to the listeners how the show actually works today?
Yes, you're listening to Issues, a station of speculation where we don't deal with any of the real issues, politics, economics, or any sort of that rubbish. We deal with the real man issues, such as can chicken get chicken pox and do fish get thirsty? So, Ben, do you want to...
Yeah, let's kick off with...
Actually, no, how has your day been, Ben? How has your day been today?
So far, it's been pretty uneventful, really. It was a case of putting on pants, which is always the thing that I'm never a fan of.
Always a chore.
It's
really.
always a chore, you know what I mean? God didn't want me to have pants. I mean, I don't believe in God, but if it did, I don't think he wore pants. In fact, in all pictures of God, he's not depicted wearing pants.
He's wearing a robe,
He's wearing a robe, so...
A dressing gown, really.
Yeah,
if anything,
exactly.
God is a lazy person. That's what we're saying. He wears a dressing gown, doesn't cut his hair, always has a beard.
He's got his feet out, he's wearing sandals.
Doesn't look after his kid. How was your weekend? Because I heard you had a gig on the weekend.
I had a gig on Friday, which was so-so. The highlight of my weekend, actually, it's going to be my birthday this Wednesday. I'm going to be old. I'm going to be 26.
I'm going to be 20 old.
Yeah. And my parents, guess it's a joke present, got me a tiger onesie. But the joke's on them because I looked awesome. Like I wore that all of yesterday.
Owned it.
Yeah, all of yesterday. I just sat with that on.
My weekend consisted of the normal sort of Deage weekend, just heavy drinking,
shame.
Just destroy me liver. Me and my liver can't be friends by now. Right? It's like an abused wife by now. You know what I mean?
You're 19, you've got to enjoy it. Because like when I was like 18, 19, my hangovers were like really good. Like I didn't have any. Now it's like the way. If I drink a lot, I've got to take the next day off. You know what I mean?
The thing is, it's worse because you're 26 now and I'm 19.
Yeah.
But we're like the same level of bitterness.
Yeah.
I don't
How
know
bitter are you going to be at
28? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you'll have a hunchback by the time you're 26. You'll have just like curled up with bitterness.
The bitterness has just made us collapse in on myself.
Yeah.
So should we crack on with the first issue of the day? Because I know all the listeners are waiting for the first issue of the day.
Yeah, it's what we're here for.
What is the worst animal to be and why?
Roadkill.
Oh, straight off the bat.
I mean, for me, it's I couldn't think of particularly animals that I hated. It was more like bugs. The only animal I could think of is maybe an anteater, because who'd want to eat ants all day? That would just be terrible.
Well, on the other side, I said ants straight away because I thought
really?
They never get a day off. I've never seen a lazy ant just kicking back, watching a bit of ant telly. I don't know.
That's what red ants are. The sunburned ants. They're the ones who are always lazy. That's why they're so angry.
Big Brother house is live in the anthill and stuff like that. You know,
about the anthill. Yeah.
But I've never ants. You know, they go, ants can lift 100 times away or something like that. I don't know the facts.
It's, soldier ants can lift 4 times or something like that.
Yeah. But why would you want to? I avoid heavy lifting at all costs.
Yeah, I was telling you, like, my cousin had a gig on the weekend, like, he plays in a band, and he was like, oh, you should come and see my band, you haven't seen us for ages, I'll get you in for free. And it sounded like a great deal, but what he actually meant was, come and carry all the stuff for my band. It was just like, lift amps, carry, it was terrible. I'm aching right now. It's funny.
You've got a stocky bill, but that's not muscle.
No, there's nothing under here except shame and flab.
You're effectively a man of Play-Doh exterior. Play-Doh in clothing.
Yeah, I like to think if it's fun for ladies, because then they can take my shirt off and they can put it in any shape they want it.
Imprint their face, it's great.
Yeah, handprints, was here.
It's like when them little pin machines, you just put your hand in and it comes out.
So I mean, what would you say the worst animal is?
It's got to be a slug, surely.
Slug, yeah, that's a bad life, man. That's a terrible existence.
They don't do anything. Everyone hates them as well.
Plus the worst thing with slugs is, at some point in your life, someone tells you that you can kill a slug by putting salt on it, and you will, as a child, especially when you're at your most cruel and carefree, when you don't,
I still do.
You're obviously going to try that. So there's a amount of like,
like if someone goes, do you know if you kick a dog hard enough in the face, it'll die? you don't go and do it. But as soon as you see a log, I'm obviously going to put salt on that. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, watch it dry up. It's like magic.
It's ugly and slimy. I don't want it on my decking.
Well, I was thinking, like, for worst animals, similarly, like a fly, like, or a moth, because you live for like a day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Windows are your worst enemy. You know what I mean? You get distracted by lights.
Somebody asked them, like, what? Everyone thinks that flies eat things, and they don't. It's just they live a day, so they don't have to eat anything. So, can you imagine that existence?
I thought they did, though. I thought that's why they hang around like dog poop.
Nah.
It's like, that looks like a delicious, tasty treat.
I don't know.
This is not moose.
I'm sure they lay the eggs in there or something. Somebody can correct us, but they don't eat.
Some fly expert who listens to the issues.
Somebody rings out, yes, they don't eat. That's absolutely correct. I'm Dr. James. I'm a fly person.
Flytologist. I don't know. I'm making up words now. I mean, I was thinking like a really bad thing to be would be like a dolphin.
A dolphin.
Because people think, oh, dolphins, it's amazing, like, you know, like they're really smart and everything. But literally, you've got to do 2 shows a day. Like, you've got to literally jump through hoops for people.
Food.
Yeah, for food. You know what I mean? But then again, I think actually, no. The more I think about it, I'd quite like only have to do 2 things a day, and then
just get
food is like my favourite form of payment. So it's like,
if somebody could just pay you McDonald's, that would happen.
yeah.
But yeah, on a similar, I thought it'd be horrible being a penguin, right? Because everyone's like, penguins are great, but the thing is, you know how cold it is, right?
Yeah.
And you always stand next to people, and I hate people, and I have to stand and pretend to have a conversation that I don't want to have.
Always.
And imagine having wings but couldn't fly.
Yeah.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
I mean, at least like the ostrich on the plus side, that can't fly, but doesn't have like a poisonous claw, so it could like kick someone in the chest and kill them.
That's equivalent.
I would trade that off for not being able to fly.
Like really disadvantaged people who've got legs but can't walk. It's like that horrible thing, that fact that they've got wings but can't fly. Just dude, what am I going to do with these? Or what? I can kind of flap them, but it does nothing. How horrible would that be?
We've actually received an email, and I think it's from your mum, because they've identified themselves as Deage's mum. But anyone could do that, because it's easily done. But I told you, on the subject of roadkill, brilliant subject, and Deage probably won't believe this, I actually saw a dead badger today.
What? That's a lie.
That's
that was it was a skunk pretending to be a badger. You can't kill a badger.
You can't kill him.
A friend of mine, my brother's friend, a badger ran into his car, and the car was going about 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Like shattered its spine.
Right.
The badger pretty much like wrote the car, front end of the car, got up and went, all right, fair enough, and wandered away.
So,
that happened. So I don't believe you can kill a badger.
Yeah, it was a sleeping badger there, Deage's mum.
On the subject of dead animals, surely pandas, right? I know
on the subject of dead animals.
I mean,
that was the best segue in radio history.
The thing is, I don't see why I was so hung up on letting them live. Just let them die, you know what I mean? Like, fair enough, they're cute.
Yeah.
That's to say, no, Pip, if they don't want to find a lady panda and make panda babies, then fair enough.
But
you know what? Grind them up, put them into burgers, sell them. That's what I'm saying.
I almost feel sorry for them, because they can only like do it like, is it once a year? Is that what it is? Like once a year?
Something ridiculous like
and
that.
then there's only like, is it 2 in, is it Edinburgh Zoo? There's 2 pandas.
Something like that.
So like, how it could be 2 complete, like, opposites, or mingers, you know what I mean? Like, she could be like, well, she's a girl, but she stinks. Have you seen her? She's fat. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. You don't know.
She's so hairy.
He could be the only gay panda. You don't know that. You know
well, at least pandas can't be racist. That's
it's a given.
Do you want to have a song?
Let's.
This is the Cave, Mum and Sons. Enjoy.
You're back with The Issues with Ben and Deage on Anyone FM. We were actually originally going to do a show about gangster rap called We Didn't Diss You with B Money and Grandmaster Deage.
It's the most ridiculous one yet. We've talked about so many bad ones, but that is the most ridiculous one yet.
Like my shameless attempt at gangster one.
Yeah,
we didn't diss you.
Because we are like the biggest honkies in the world.
Yeah, we're so white.
I saw this young black guy the other day.
Yeah.
And I was telling my friend, and I was saying he was wearing black guy clothing. And he went, what do you mean? Because he thought I was being racist at the time. And I went, no, I'm black guy clothing, like sort of, you know, the big basketball shoes and the long baggy top and the cap with the thing. And he's got one of them baseball tops and, you know, and he went, why do you mean black guy clothing? I went, well, it's not because all black people wear them. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if a white person wore that, he'd look like cool. An idiot. That's why it's called black guy clothing.
Your mum actually emailed in again.
Will you stop calling her my mum? This is so unprofessional. Your mum's rang you on the show.
What should I call her then?
Just call her
Paxton.
Jane or something.
Call her Jane. I should call Jane.
No.
Why would I call her Jane?
Fake name it.
No, but it's funny because it's your mum. She said she's talking about that dead badger again because she just can't let it drop. And she said, I was going to take a pic of the dead badger, but I thought that would just be weird. But then under that, which makes the email by far, It was so dead.
The thing is,
that to me, it sounds like you poked it with a stick.
I mean, if you take a picture of any animal in centres, that is pretty weird.
Yeah.
But if you take a picture of any dead animal, that's still pretty weird.
What do you do when someone catches you doing that? What do you do? Just picture
How
dead badger.
how can something be more dead than something? Because you can be dying dead. You can't be just
Well, I
dead.
think
over
you were
increment amount.
saying it wasn't dead. She's going, no, it was so dead. It was so dead. My mum's actually emailed in not to be outdone, you know what I mean? Just like Ben's mum. She said, I was only 4 minutes late tuning in because she always misses the first 10 minutes of the show. Always. So I told her today, I was like, oh, we're on at 10 to 3. And she went, 10 to 3? And I went, yeah, because I'm giving you the 10-minute deficit. You know what I mean? Like you always miss.
That's the story of your life. Just 10 minutes too late for everything in Siobhan.
Keep it decent. Just remember that you can actually email the show if you're on the website, clicking on Contact the Studio and clicking on send a message on Contact the Studio. You can also text the show by starting your message with the letters NE and the number 1 plus your message is 60300. And just another reminder, which I always like to plug, is there's an app you can get for all smartphones called the TuneIn Radio app, which is free to download from the app marketplace.
It's really good. Actually, me and my friends were listening to some other
It's not
radio
just
station.
for anyone.
Yeah,
it's just all radio stations.
It's
It's a
got
good app
loads
to
of
have.
my friend said it was brilliant because he's in the sort of house and trance and he was listening to like Australian radio stuff.
It's really, really worth the download because it's free, you cheapos.
And it's got also this really great rap station on.
Yeah.
That me and my friends were just being so gangster over the weekend. It was unreal.
So are you going to start going by the name Grandmaster Deage?
Oh, I'll go buy it.
I was like, I put mine as initially B Money, but it should really be B Skint because it's more accurate.
Be no money.
Got no money.
Be dull. That's you.
Let's crack on with our next issue of the day.
Next issue of the day is along the sort of Olympic theme. What sport would you like to have at the Olympics?
All mine are ludicrous, I'm not going to lie, because as you know, as an overweight man, sports aren't really my thing.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. All of mine are like, I've basically just picked animals in horrible tasks like kitten punching.
Kitten punching, right.
Yeah, or baby punting.
Baby punting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Is that when you tee up a baby?
It is.
And then, do you choose your shoe? Or
you choose your shoe,
like golf, just as a driver, just a big boot.
Just a massive
And you've got like a ballet shoe on just for putting.
Yeah. That's actually genius. Well played. I've got gorilla boxing because that would just be fun.
It'd be violent and horrible, but yeah, I'd watch it.
Jaguar javelin.
Well, gorilla wrestling. Have you ever seen UFC? That's pretty much. That's pretty much.
You're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah, just let's annoy all the UFC people. That's a small idea.
Is there any kung fu guys out there you want to take the mick out of?
I prefer. I know it sounds a bit horrible, but I prefer the Paralympics to the Olympics because I just think it's way more. Look, I've already got the face that says, "Gage, where are you going with this?" But
yeah,
I just find it more interesting because they've got a game called blind football, and everybody on the team is blind and they have to play football because I think the football makes a sound or something.
Right. Do you have to be blind to play that?
Oh yeah, and it's
it's
by far the most entertaining thing I've ever watched.
Yeah.
And it's great because the first rule of blind football is that you can't.
Where's the ball?
The first rule of blind football is they all have to wear blindfolds.
Right.
Which is kind of like, what, are you trying to say all blind people are liars? I'm not going to say that, but...
Can it just have, like, non-blind people, and that's why, so they can play it?
Well, no, they have to be blind.
That's have to be blind.
That's
just terrible.
Yeah.
You've got to be blind, so there's just someone who really wants to play and just forks their eyes out.
That's pretty much. But then they still get called a liar, and then have to put the blindfold on.
Well, in the same vein, I'm not, obviously, you know, I'm not a fan of football.
Yeah.
But I'd quite like to make a sport of headball, where you've just got to head the ball. And obviously, you would never be able to get a volley going because you can't flick it up. So it's just a bunch of guys on all fours just pushing the ball around. Yeah, that would be really good.
I'm going to throw this out here. I want to see. I was watching the Jerry Springer show. It was a clip on YouTube, and there's two. I don't know what the politically correct. I think it's small people.
Yeah.
And they were having a fight, and I remember thinking, this is by far one of the most entertaining things. So, I'm going to say midget/dwarf/ small people boxing, I think.
Well, I was thinking that what we do is we take, like, you know, like trivial things and turn them into sports, like board games.
Yeah.
But like make like human versions of them. So in the same thing, you'd have like small person Jenga.
That'd be amazing.
When I thought of that, I thought, I'm a terrible person, but I'm writing that down.
Or just like small people chess. That'd be great.
Just pick them up. Would they all be dressed? So there'd be one dressed as a king and a queen?
Let's not do that. I'll start a race war. One side will have to... No, we don't want to do that. That'd be awful. I'm going to throw this out here just to get off the subject of just like a stereotypical group of people. Drunk boxing or drunk fighting, because drunk fighting is not like normal fighting.
Yeah.
And drunk fighting, anything goes, and it's
like sometimes you knock someone down, you haven't even punched them. You know what I mean?
Just kebab in the face. That'd be absolutely. Imagine watching just getting people absolutely hammered and watching them fight. Put them in like a little arena and tell them that they've both had sex with each other's
I
wives
remember
or
one
something.
time getting really drunk and some kid, I can't remember why, but he was winding us up, and it's some sort of like, let's do this gesture, like let's get it on.
Yeah.
I slammed my pizza on the floor, which is the stupidest thing ever.
You had to pick it
I
up.
kinda, like, I opened it and I was just like, I hate this guy. We're gonna do this. And I just slammed the pizza down. And I thought, well, I've just wasted the pizza there, and now I'm sad about my loss that I'm not ready to fight
Did
anymore.
it get you more angry?
I'll be honest. I just turned around and walked straight back in the shop and got another pizza.
You're like the Hulk with food. It just gets really angry.
Well, like, I was thinking, obviously, like you say, for like actual kids games that could turn into real things. I like the idea of making like a real life hungry hippos. You could just have big people like fighting for like bonbons.
I think
like
getting hippos involved. I would have been in for that.
Actual hippos.
Actual hippos.
you that's just animals fighting.
I don't
I'm not
care.
Gonna lie. I don't care. I'm a bad person.
I was trying to think of things that the English can sort of win at, because obviously we're not the greatest bunch when it comes to sort of the Olympics and stuff like that. But I thought, if we played Countdown, right, and we're the only one who knows the English language, then surely
we got this.
We got this. All of our je ne
I would like to say that's the case, but have you read Facebook lately? No one in this country can spell.
Yeah. Somebody. I wrote off like friends I've had for years just because I put you instead of y or you. You know, you or cuz. That's another one I hate. Right? CUZ. Why do that?
For me, the biggest grammar faux pas would be your and your. Like, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E is you are.
Yeah.
Your is your possession.
I used to do that a lot, but after you started picking up on it, I had to correct my behaviour, because I'm just like, he's not going to like this, I've got to do this.
Yeah, DJ regularly says writ.
Oh, but we don't even want to get started on this whole grammar
I haven't got time.
My most hated one, though, is somebody's done this the other day. It's when people spell words wrong, even though it's the same amount of letters. That really somebody was trying to put about, right?
Yeah.
And it was A-B-O-U-T. That's how you spell about. But put A-B-O-W-T. Oh my god! And honestly, I was so angry, like just blind anger at this person who couldn't spell. It's just like, why do that? Why wait? That's probably more effort on a thing.
Don't get us wrong. I think some people do have genuine excuses. Dyslexic people. Or people who have literally had really bad. No, if you've had like a really bad like school life, then I think that's there are circumstances.
Yeah.
But I'm genuinely talking about people who've had all the same breaks in life as me,
and still can't spell. I mean, it just really irritates us when people just don't spell it right. I mean,
this is why we're single, because we're sticklers for grammar.
Oh no, just
oh sorry, that on my face.
You're very good looking, but you can't spell words. So.
We were talking about this the other day. I was just thinking. Like, oh yeah, it's been an amazing year. We've done loads of gigs. We do community radio, and then when you think about it, community radio is not sexy, is it? It's not what gets the ladies going. What do you do? Community radio. Okay then.
I mean, right, just to sort of drag this back on the topic, because we've got horribly off topic here. The final thing I thought would be great out of the Olympics, because obviously the Olympics has just got this huge hype about it, and it's totally over the top.
Yeah.
And it's you've got opening games which cost like billions of pounds, and every.
You're back with the issues with Ben and Deage on Anyone FM, where Deage is once again playing the next song. The man's
Nobody would have noticed. Nobody would have noticed.
I like to embarrass you about it though. It makes my day.
Oh well.
It's the small things in life.
You're just a douchebag, aren't you?
Why is this news to you? You've known this for a long time.
You just plug the show and shut up.
Just remember that you can actually email the show from the website by clicking on the Contact the Studio tab and sending them a message. That way you can also text the show by starting your message with the letters NE and the number 1 plus your message to 60300. You're just making very vulgar gestures, which aren't very Monday afternoon radio friendly, shall we say. So yeah, also, what was I saying about the text? Oh yes, you should make sure you've got to put NE plus 1, because the message will not come through.
Yeah. So Ben, I know the Euros are on at the minute, and you're not a big football fan. Are you into the Olympics at all?
No, well, the thing what I don't get about these big sporting events is they're always sponsored by like fast food companies. Like, look at it, there's got to be some sort of irony there, like because you can't really go well McDonald's would do carrot sticks. Yeah, that doesn't make it okay.
Yeah, the only thing McDonald's really sponsors is childhood obesity. Yeah, that's actually true. That's all.
That's what they've given to the world.
Oh, well done, you fat. Have a Happy Meal.
I mean, don't get us wrong. I love McDonald's, but I am overweight. You know what I mean? And I don't like sport. But I just don't see the correlation between the two. I mean, I think I actually got a burger from McDonald's the other day, which is it's the sponsoring the European Championships or whatever, and it was called like the Striker meal, which was like this giant burger and like chip combo thing, and I was just thinking like, really, if I'm going to eat a few of these, I'm not going to be striking anything, you know what I mean? The only thing that's a strike is like my head off the concrete when like I have a heart attack.
I'm taking the strike against doing any effort. That's
yeah, but you know what I mean? I mean, what's your opinion on the whole Olympics?
I think it's great, but it's again. It's like
I think it's great that we're bringing jobs over here, but other than that, not so much. I'm not actually interested in watching it. Yeah, I can't remember what radio station it was I was listening to. I'm not trying to take down the competition because let's be honest,
we're not big. Like we're not really big enough to do that.
No, but I mean, I saw them. They were plugging like, oh, we're going to talk to all the people who are going to hold the Olympic torch. And I was like, who wants to listen to that?
Yeah, like,
hello, I held the torch.
Like,
brilliant.
Will I Am, and that was holding. I was like, it's not even English. That's it's American. How does that even work?
Well, it's the Olympics. It's the whole world, but still.
Yeah, but if the Olympic torch is meant to be like a symbol of, because you know that kind of annoyed us. But again, like you were saying, how the McDonald's was sponsoring it really annoyed us because just thinking, I saw a child the other day with his mum. Big fat child, like stupidly big, like impressively big for a child.
Impressively, and for a small human.
Just shoving fries into his face, and it's just like how you're making a Happy Meal sad. They got be a beast and then get a crappy toy. That's what that is. They're really annoying.
The toys are such a letdown.
Yeah,
they're up there with Kinder Surprise, where it's just like the surprise is how disgusted you are by the toy that you actually get.
Saying that, I hate it, but a friend of mine, you know, Liz, a brother had to propose to his fiancée now, I suppose. And what he did was he opened the Kinder Egg thing and then opened it up and put the engagement ring inside. Yeah. And then refilled the chocolate and was like, yeah, have a Kinder Surprise.
That's genius.
The biggest surprise ever.
She was really good that she didn't have to assemble it herself. I'm always annoyed that, like, if I get a Kinder Surprise, I'm 26 and I still get the Kinder Surprise.
Oh, yeah.
It just annoys me when you come out and the toy's already made. I'm just like, well, what's this? You know what I mean? I like the pathetic sense of, like, accomplishment that you get from clipping 3 bits of plastic together.
Well done,
I'm like, hey, Ma, look what I did. You know what I mean? I'm so proud. Now put some pants on and get out the house.
Right, okay, let's drag this back.
This is an issue that was
suggested, wasn't it, by email?
Suggested by some guy on the email. He didn't leave his name, unfortunately, because it was a text message, I believe. Because that's one of the things with the texts I've noticed a lot is when people text the show,
don't put the name on.
They never put the name on because you're kind of forced to when you email, but you're not when you text. So people are just like, well, they must know us. I always put three kisses and a smiley face.
Does it come through as their email address, sort of like from like Bubblebutt93 or at Hotmail?
Only if they choose to put it on. We'll get a lot of fake email addresses.
Okay, but the topic of the email that was suggested was, if England were to create a new empire, where would be the best place to start?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of places where not to start, like not France, for example, because, you know, I would say English.
I put France just because it was the closest, and we're a very lazy culture.
So like, I wouldn't want France because, you know, like, why would you want like a hint of garlic in like a culture that eats most pond life? You know what I mean?
Okay, let's be racist. And let's just dive headfirst into racism.
I mean, I was thinking this is me being such a good friend. I was thinking of you that Australia wouldn't be a good idea because you would turn to ashes in 0.3 seconds.
It's like 3 mile away or something from the sun.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like
Deage is actually like a vampire. Yeah, just bursts into flames.
Well, I was thinking initially probably Greece because it'd be really cheap. As a tenner. Just sort it out, you know. It's like, and it's euros, so you get something on the exchange rate.
I like that. I mean, like, where else would you kind of incorporate into the new empire?
I don't even think we should try. Look, because English people ruin everywhere they go. They just do. Yeah. Like English people go to Greece. I give us a tapas. That's not the one I got back home. And they're like, like a fresh, lovely fish tapas. I want a I want like one that's been fish fingers and stuff. That's what people want. And you see people when they go on like hot holidays, like Spain and Italy and stuff like that. And they're like guys in supermarkets wearing Speedos and nothing else. And then like just everyone gets drunk and spews in the street and ruins a beautiful country. And they can't do anything either because like, well, they're bringing in money. Well, obviously they spend it on drinking and dying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see like the goodness of England in that sense. I suppose. Yeah. I just don't see why we would want to branch out. One, we're not that big.
Yeah.
We're not that much of a superpower anymore.
Just ruin everyone.
We'll kind of just stand behind America and be like, yeah, punch him in the face.
I mean, if we're gonna have to take over a country, I suppose. I mean,
I was thinking maybe Norway because there's nothing there, so we'll probably get it quite easily.
Swiss just give you it. What about Wales? Because Wales is not even a real country, really. You know, I'm not going to say that it's a pathetic excuse for a country, but.
Well, I mean, I don't know much about Wales, but what I do know is that like most people don't know how to speak actual Welsh.
Yeah, it's stupid, man. It's not even a country. It's like the Canada.
Canada of England.
Yeah, even Canada. Walk into Canada and just go like, come we have this, and they'll be like, okay, just give it, because they're too nice. My brother was going to go away to Canada, and I was like, but why would you want to do that? I was like, well, you know, we've got family over there, it's cheap, it's nice, it's clean. I was like, yeah, but everyone's nice over there. I couldn't deal with that as a person, just being the
only place would genuinely fit in would be America, wouldn't it? Because it's like we've become like this knockoff version of America, aren't we? Where everything they do is bigger and better, and all the good stuff is imported from America.
Even America nowadays is just like
so
loud.
Family Guy and Burger King. That alone is the reason to the America.
I think America's the same in the sense of like the British, but we just hate ourselves. Like everything we do, we've got to ridicule it. You don't get that in other countries. There's no sense of real pride.
I suppose like Americans don't generally get the whole British sarcasm thing, which is kind of a big deal over here.
The guy who actually sent an email said, "Why not take over Belgium?" Because there's beer and waffles, which is
man after my own heart.
Which is just a great thought. But I was thinking, obviously, if you're going to go that far, why not Amsterdam? You know what they're famous for?
Weed and women.
Exactly. But I was thinking there was a law that it's starting to come in because I don't know if you know this, but marijuana's being degraded. I was reading it on The Guardian because I read The Guardian. It's been declassed to a Class C.
Is that actually happening?
Yeah, and there's places
just in. It was in the Guardian. Doesn't mean anything.
Do you know how in Amsterdam they've got like weed cafes and stuff like that, and in the UK they've started opening them because they figured out that if they make more money than they lose from being arrested and stuff. And they interviewed this guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I hire pensioners for the winter fuel allowance, like just to help them out." Makes the old people, the pensioners, grow the weed so he can sell it just so they can make a bit of extra money, which is a beautiful idea. How good is that? Because the housebound, it's easy to do. They get a winter fuel allowance, so they're going to use less electricity, so it'll be fine. I don't know. It's. I mean, in places that we did own, like India and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But would they really have the back? Can I have this back? Well, no.
No, you cannot.
Oh,
you can't be trusted.
So yeah, that's our spin on the Olympics, basically. Should we play a song, Ben?
I think we should.
A nice rock song. Here's Back and Back, AC/DC.
You're listening to The Issues with Ben and Deage on Anyone FM. So, should we crack on with our next issue of the day?
Yes, they're back with the station speculation when we dive headfirst in the abstract and the contorted and the weird and the wonderful. Last issue of the day, probably. I don't know. Could be.
Very likely.
It is, indeed.
How would you cope with being in prison?
I'm glad you had that right now. Things weren't going well there. How would you cope with being in prison, Ben?
Well, I mean, apart from the crying and the general cowering.
Yeah, because basically, if you've ever seen The Shawshank Redemption, you know when the Andy Dufresne first comes in, they have to bet on who's the crier. Yo, that would be us.
We're both the criers, really. In that,
we're not really. I want to try and say this without having any sort of very, very dirty intent, but we'd be the little spoon.
Shall we say? Yeah,
because we wouldn't.
We're not alpha males.
That's what we're trying to say. Very much beta males. We very much receive gifts. We don't give gifts. That's what we're trying to say.
I mean, for me, it's that thing. It's that old cliche of your first day in prison. They tell you, oh, you should go up to someone really big and like assault them to assert your dominance. But like, why would I want to get knocked out on my first day in prison? It's already bad enough. I've already been caught for whatever it was I was doing, and I've got to go to jail.
Yeah.
Why would I want to go?
Why would I want to get beaten up by someone big and hard?
Beat up the big guy who probably everyone loves because he's the big guy. So like everyone's gonna hate us on day one.
Because you're like me, quite socially inept. What we do, but
Thank you.
But what you basically do is you insult people until they like you. That wouldn't work really in prison.
No,
but
it didn't work in school. It didn't work in prison.
It doesn't work in real life. But also, like other prison cliches, like don't drop the soap. Like all people in prison are going to be gay. Like that's like how does that work? Do you just get out of prison and go, well, I'm clearly going to change my whole lifestyle and sexuality now? That just doesn't work. That doesn't happen.
You're not going to all of a sudden decide that well, there's no women, so when in Rome, do as the Spartans.
People just don't do that. It just wouldn't happen. I mean, I was kind of thinking here when I thought this, but how would you deal with the food? I know food's a large part of your life, and
well, you can get like a lot of stuff brought in. Like what I'd actually like to do. Well, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, well, how would I survive in prison? Because I'm not gonna be the fighter, so. I need, and they're probably not going to like the sarcasm thing, so I need something that makes them not want to kill us every day in prison, or at least beat us up.
Yeah.
Or touch us in the shower.
Easy now.
So I thought, well, you can get food brought in, so I thought I'd be like a food dealer, you know what I mean? So, but in all things legal, because like
Ben Donald's.
Yeah, exactly. I know people who have like been in prison. It's just like
BFC.
Some of the biggest currency for the people who didn't smoke was like pot noodles and crisps and like they would call me tuck shop man, and I'd have a cape because obviously I'd have to go insane to be able to cope with prison. So tuck shop man with the cape that he made out of his onesie, like what do you call it? What do you even call a prison outfit? I don't know.
Just prison outfit.
Prison outfit.
Because
turn into a cape like the worst superhero.
I love the fact that people like sneak like nail files on the cakes, like and stuff like that. But you would sneak cakes with nail files.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Just a pick-locking cake. Yeah. Just people and then just a cake underneath. just a KFC bucket. Sneaking sides in with shivs.
It's like, can you get us a bong? But it's going to cost you, mate. It's going to cost you.
I mean, we're saying this now, but obviously I don't want to say that the prison's an easy life, but compare to what it used to be.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's like, you get games, TV.
I know, right?
It's pretty much your lifestyle. I was thinking the other day, I was like, what is the actual difference between Ben's lifestyle and prison lifestyle? The only difference is the fact that you like to sleep in. That's it.
I was thinking about it as well, because it's that whole thing. I thought, well, if I go to prison, maybe I'd get fit because there's nothing else to do. Like, you could just if you got time to kill, I'll just do push-ups in my cell and I'll be massive. But no, I would maintain fat in prison. That's terrible, isn't it? But I really would.
It's not like you don't have spare time now.
No, I know. Exactly.
I do this all the time.
No, but I've got so many distractions.
I'm going to get up before noon tomorrow, go to the gym for a couple hours, and then you just get up and you go, is it easier to go to the gym or just to stay in bed and be just...
Yeah, but I've got distractions now. Like, there's my bed. there's books, there's TV, there's internet. There's food. Sometimes there's just staring at a wall. Sometimes you just got to stare at a wall.
I was talking to a friend of mine who says, oh yeah, I went to the gym today, right? Yeah. This friend of mine, I came out of the gym, went to McDonald's, got 20 tabs, and bought like a crate of beer. And that's just like, he was like, well, I was hungry after I went to the gym. I went, well, that's counterproductive then. But obviously,
I don't like the gym anyway, because I went to the gym for like a month, like about 2 years ago. The only time I ever went to the gym, I signed up. I mean, I paid for it for 9 months. Yeah. but I went for like a month. But like, I was going every single day. Like, well, not every single day. I probably had 1, maybe 2 days off a week. Right, but it's like I was going like my working week I was going, and there was just no change. It was like I got an increase in stamina, but my body looked exactly the same. But that's the only thing I'm going to change. I don't care about stamina. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because sitting down doesn't take much. But
I don't have a very demanding lifestyle.
Yeah, I don't. But it's just like I was hoping like the man boobs would go back in.
For the man boobs and the pectorals.
It didn't happen.
So I think it would be very hard for especially people like me and you to cope in gyms, because we all beta males. We all.
Well, gym's a good example of prison. It's the whole being naked around other males. Like I don't like that. Like like it's just, where do you look? You know what I mean? Because like, I'm not homophobic. It's just one of those things where it's like, if I catch myself looking at another dude's junk, I'm going to be like, damn, he's going to think that I'm gay. I'm not gay. I just glance because it's right there.
Can I look away quickly? Because then he's going to know that I've looked at. So I need to stare for an appropriate amount of time.
Look at someone else's so you know it's not just you. Before you know you've got a reputation.
This happens in pubs all the time. It's a thing when, like, if you're in a pub and you've got a toilet and someone standing next to you in the urinal, you come intimately just, like, into the tiles in front of you.
Those troughs. Why do they sometimes? Because, like, women might not know this, but sometimes, like, there'll be like a trough where it's just like you can literally stand open, but other times there's one with divides.
Yeah,
there should always be divides. There's no reason why I ever need a chance.
It's very clever what they've done, because advertising companies have put, like, posters above the toilets because everybody knows that's why you're staring. Yeah. They're, like, intently staring. Yeah. Oh, you can get car insurance for that amount. Oh, I haven't even got a car, and I'm sitting there reading this like, that's really interesting.
I was driving back from a gig like the other day, and we stopped at some service stations, and one of the adverts, it was like a lawyer thing. It was just like, have you had an injury at work? There was actual cards you could take off. I was like, as if you're like gonna take off. You haven't even washed your hands by that point. You're still midway. You know?
Yeah, there was the same one for PPI.
Yeah, the number had rubbed off by the time I got out of my pocket.
I've got no idea why, but I took one, and I obviously won't have PPI thing, but I was like, well, this is more interesting than looking into another man's junk. I was in a toilet once.
All good stories start like that.
It only gets better. I was in a toilet once. I was on the way, and a guy comes in. And I don't think he knows the sort of social protocol of just not staring at the man's drunk. So I'm standing there,
the unwritten rule,
and he looks at us, and he blatantly looks at my penis, right? Yeah. Looks back at us, gives an approving nod, and then leaves.
Well done, sir.
I didn't know what to do. I was just like, okay.
I think we've talked a little bit too much about toilets.
Yeah, drag us back on the topic for the prison thing.
I was thinking like a good survival technique in prison would be lying about what you did, because like say like for example, you mugged an old lady because you're a wimp. That's what you did. You mugged an old lady, and that's why
it's easy.
Because it's easy. Yeah, it's like taking candy from a baby
or an old person,
or a purse from an old woman. You know,
it's like taking bottle sweets from an old person, coining new phrases.
Give me those words.
It's like taking a Zimmer frame from an old person.
It's not okay, but it is hilarious
and easy.
We're
not condoning it, but we're saying it is really easy.
All right, we're bad people. That's official. No, but you would just say like, oh no, I had a massive shootout with the cops, and then there was like a helicopter, and I got an RPG and I shot them down. You just describe a scene from Grand Theft Auto, yeah, basically, and then they'll think you're a badass and then leave you alone, you know?
Yeah, they call me CJ.
Yeah. That was a total nerd joke.
What would be your like street name, sort of?
Street name.
If you're gonna have to lie about it, you're gonna have to have a street name.
I don't know. I'm tragically white when it comes to coming up with names.
You call me Red Dog for all, just because I'm ginger.
No, I meant that rash on a certain area.
On my dog. Yeah. That's weird. I don't know. I was trying to think of a nickname for you.
Right.
If anyone's got an email they want to send in for Ben's insane nickname, but it'd have to be something really sort of modest. You know how they normally pick like a big animal or something. You always be like the intimidating hamster or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I want to be called. You know, that guy in prison, Hamster. Oh yeah, he stores food in his cheeks.
Deals it out.
Yeah, exactly. Keeping sweets in the wrappers inside him. Oh well,
he's just on a wheel all the time.
I don't know why I keep saying Werther's. I think it's because I stole them from an old woman. That's why I'm in jail.
Why are you offering me them now? I think the other thing that we don't really consider, but obviously prison is full of idiots. It has to be. It's just obviously you got the intellectual ones who like do like bank crimes and stuff like that and think it through. Yeah. But there's got to be a bunch of morons in there who just like it went like people who wear balaclavas but like just made out of pen and stuff like just proper idiots.
I read that story. That was hilarious. Yeah. Like those two guys where instead of putting masks on, cause
they just coloured their faces.
They just coloured their faces with permanent marker.
They look like really bad minstrels. That's all they look like. But it's just like, how would we deal with idiots in prison? Because in the real world, we either just like savagely just talk behind the back, or
savagely talk behind them,
or just
that is like a total summation of our working days.
or just be a horrible
we'll
person.
write terrible jokes for this show and judge other people.
Yeah.
That's all we do.
Or I'll just be horrible to the face and ridicule and stuff. But you couldn't really do that in prison. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how would you deal with idiots in prison? Because obviously you'd have to find a way. Because I wouldn't be able to just sit there and store it all up. Because eventually I'd just explode at somebody. Just like,
I don't know, because the thing is, you couldn't like talk behind the back to other prisoners, because if it ever got round to you, then you're gonna get shivved in the face.
Can you imagine if like somebody went, "I don't like chicken," and we all went, "No, you really like chicken." Just correcting their grammar and stuff, and they're just like, "What? Oh, I'll stab you really good in the face, really well in the face."
Yeah. What you want to do is just twist it to this angle and go for the jugular.
But I think people rule out prison as being quite unsociable, but it's not. It's quite a sociable place to be. You're full of people.
Yeah.
You have to. But where
else are you going to meet 5 other people who are going to do a bank heist with you?
I'm a really antisocial person. I don't know how I'd sort of cope with that. I just end up being a knob to everyone. You know, it'd be horrible. I think
much like your normal life.
I think we're out of time, Ben.
Pretty much. I think it's only really time for shameless plugs. Like, you can actually find us on Facebook by searching The Issues with Ben and Deage. You can also find previous episodes on YouTube by also searching The Issues with Ben Deage. So do give a like and a follow. And also we've got a comedy night that Deage would like to play.
A great comedy, 5 great comedians called FMTF Comedy. But it's like Flip Me, that's funny. But it's not Flip.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find that on Facebook if you just Google it. F*******.
We'll put a link on the issues page.
That'd be great, yeah. But I really recommend it. It's really cheap, £2.50 on 3rd of July at the Clooney. A great place in town, great little place. Really, just come. I would
really
just come. Just come.
Just stop whatever you're doing. Just tie one of your kids to the radio.
What are you doing right now? What are you doing that's really worthwhile? Yeah. Go on this website and get it. You buy tickets online, just do it. Why are people not doing it?
Do it right now. Just tie your children to a radiator with a bottle of water. They'll be fine.
So yeah, you've been listening to The Issues. Yeah, it's been great. We'll see you next time, same place, same rubbish fish jokes and
yeah, or there'll be a new terrible
pun. Same bad jokes, same 2